Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and welcome to Hangar 21, the third map in the Final Stand DLC for Battlefield 4, and I apologize, before I get into anything else, I apologize there's no audio for any of these clips. I was using a relatively unfamiliar recording setup while I was in Los Angeles at Dice LA, and for some reason the audio just didn't seem to record in this specific map. I wasn't using shadow play, it was kind of a jury-rigged setup, but it all worked out okay because all the footage is still intact, but I apologize about there being no audio. Now, don't fret because 3 hours, literally 3 hours after this video goes live, I'm going to be able to live stream it over on Twitch. So if you want to see the entire map, you can just come join me. I'll leave a link down in the description. So the audio is not a huge big deal, but I do apologize about that. So I'm going to start out with how exactly the launch pod works, what it's effective at, and how it doesn't completely eliminate spawn grave, but it's kind of a unique setup. I'm going to start with that, and then I'll go bottom to top, top to bottom on both an ATV and a snowmobile, and then I'll show you the inside of the hangar. So right there, I tried to kill the helicopter with it, and for some reason, whenever you bump into vehicles, like mid-flight inside of it, you seem to pop out, but it doesn't do any damage to vehicles. So I'm not sure that you're going to be able to kill any kind of vehicles or get any kind of cinematic shot with the launch pod against vehicles, which is a little bit saddening, but you can in fact kill infantry with it. I'll show you guys that in just a second. Now, you can tilt it, basically, you can do it at a full 45, so you can make basically an L out of the stand and out of your chute, so you can just fire yourself horizontally along the ground. You can also shoot yourself almost exactly vertically. I got pretty close. I didn't really make it. I didn't quite make the perfect kind of trajectory, but I'm pretty sure if you can sort of make these little micro calculations and just go straight up, you could probably, and I mean, I haven't quite tried exactly getting it down yet, but I'm fairly certain that you can do it. You can fire yourself straight up and come almost right back into the chute if you go perfectly linear straight up in the air. Now, Stun Gravy had some C4 on this one. He kind of rattled me around and I shot out the side, which is kind of a unique little shot there, but they kind of rattle around and they seem to shake. Whenever you hit them with any kind of explosives and they come off their axis, they seem to shake. And boom! That is how you can actually kill somebody. You can roadkill people with it. That guy did not seem to notice me there, but yet again, you do come out of the pod eventually. So if you hit anything mid-flight, whether that be a helicopter or another infantry player, you usually pop out of the pod, but you don't die. And one other thing, it's almost impossible from what I've seen, just purely because of your velocity, to land the pod. So actually just coming in contact with the ground and popping out, you usually are going to KIA or just kill yourself in that specific instance. Most of the time you're going to have to jump out and pull your chute at a reasonable point in your trajectory if you expect to survive. Because I tried a lot of different angles toward ground, and most of the time it's going to die every single time. So at the very bottom, you have down here, I believe this is, yeah, it's going to be the Russian spawn all the way down here, but it's heavily in favor of those that are obviously uphill, but it's not all self-explanatory. Like, those that have the upper ground are inherently going to win this game over and over and over again, because there's actually a lot of hazards that I didn't notice until I took a snowmobile from the spawn quite a few times. But yes, as you can see here, there is quite a fierce incline all the way from the F to the C flag, and then inside the hangars where the B flag and the A flag are. So from this point, it's a kind of juggling between knowing exactly which flags you want to have in between and which ones you want to cap in the exterior, just because the F flags and the B flags are extremely important purely for transportation. So those launch pods, they might seem kind of harmless or just like a fun little gimmick, but when you think about it, they have a real tactical implication, because sure, if this upper team, or the team that has this upper spawn way up on the mountain here, they obviously have the advantage just because, I mean, height advantage is pretty self-explanatory, because they can always be shooting down at you, and they always have the tactical advantage over you in any sort of engagement. But if your team can hold F, they can manage to shoot guys in pods over and over and over again. There's not really a cooldown on it from what I saw. So you can constantly funnel guys from the F flag all the way up to B if you have the right angle, the right trajectory, which is something that is very, very good in terms of balancing. So I think it's going to be much harder. I can't outright say that it's going to eliminate spawn graping, but I can say that it's going to make it a lot easier for the team that's on the lower end of the mountain to try to flank and back cap, which is certainly a useful tool for coming back in a lot of different situations in Conquest Large. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that it's not all self-explanatory in terms of, oh, this team on the upper side of the mountain automatically has the advantage. Because the snowmobiles are so fast, it sometimes works against them. It works against their particular favor. So you guys know that most of the time I'm a little bit liberal as to how fast I go and how kind of crazy I am when I'm in a snowmobile. So I kind of tried to do a little wall ride here and everything else, but something that you'll notice and something that I didn't think about initially, and we were kind of just getting graped here, by the way, from the upper section. I mean, that explains enough, is that we started on the upper end of the mountain and we were still getting capped over and over and over again. I wasn't exactly try-harding. I was trying to investigate several different features instead of, trying to get this mad KD and cap tons of flags and try to investigate different things. But this was my issue. Oftentimes, when I was coming down the mountain in a snowmobile, I would be going so fast that I would oftentimes explode and kill myself. So that's one thing that I thought was a little bit counterintuitive, is that you automatically think, I'm on the upper side of the mountain, I automatically have the advantage. But I can't tell you how many times I was going down in a quad or a snowmobile and I ended up just getting so out of control and going so fast that I ended up exploding on the way down, and it really wasn't all that advantageous, because I would have to be really, really cautionary, or have some caution anytime that I would be traveling down any kind of sharp incline, because I would kill myself so often. So I had to sort of limit my speed and the gnarliness of my jumps, if you will. It's kind of something that I don't usually like limiting my potential when going off jumps or like some kind of mad kicker. It's not like I'm doing lazy boys on my snowmobile, but at the same time, I had to limit my speed when traveling downhill or down a large incline, because oftentimes I would just kill myself. So that's one sort of disadvantage that I did notice of being on the upper side. But yet again, you do have, outright tactical advantage, just being higher than another enemy. And this is the inside of the hangar. Just behind me is the section where you can turn on the Titan's engines as the Levolution event, and you can absolutely just destroy individual infantry, which it's pretty funny to see. I didn't really get any footage of it. I had a few files and a few recordings that didn't really work out in DX Story, so I didn't get to, unfortunately, show you guys, but I'm sure you'll see it over and over and over again. But this is really all that I wanted to tell you guys initially, because this is all that was really all that new compared to the other things. You guys have already seen the railgun. You've already seen a lot of the other features of the map, like the SC-40. The SC-42 is, in fact, still on this map, so be prepared for some explosive shotgun rounds to bounce your quad halfway across the map. But these were the major points that I wanted to show you about Hangar 21. Just how the map and the incline worked, how the launch pod works, and how this map works in general. Now, if you guys would like to see more, I'll be streaming it pretty well all day today, or whenever I have some kind of free time today. I've got a few things to get done. But if you'd like to see it, I'll leave a link down in the description. And I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und Shader.